Welcome to another episode of Straight Up Big Ideas with Dave Howard.
From working, Starbucks to bartending to selling phones at AT&T, I was trying to figure out where I could fit in and land eventually. I believe persistence and perseverance are the two biggest factors of our business in general. When I first started out, I was trying to hit at least 100 calls every day.
I'm very honored to have Joseph Mullican with me today. He's one of our partners in our office. He does investment sales, been with the firm since September of 22. September of 21. As I said, he's a partner in our firm. He has been a great mentor to our young agents, and he consistently is a top producer in the firm. And I'm really excited to sit down and talk to you today, Joseph.
Thank you. I am too.
Normally, we start off with a question for one of our viewers. You know, we have worldwide viewers.
I've heard this.
And this particular one is Nadia from Atlanta.
I've heard of her.
If you had a walk-up song every time you walked into the office, what would it be?
Probably Ludacris, number one spot.
Ludacris?
Yeah, Ludacris. Atlanta rapper.
Ludacris.
Staying with the Atlanta Three. He had the song number one spot that I think should be played in our sales meeting for the number one broker.
Well, maybe we need to do that here because I don't know what
that's probably is. I don't know if that would do that every day, but that would be at least one on my list for sure.
What's another one? Stairway to Heaven?
No.
Disco Nights?
Probably Grinding by Clips. Clips just made a comeback to another rap group. But grinding is basically our business. And so we have the Grinder Award. And I think.
So we ought to be playing that when I hand out the Grinder of the Year.
Correct.
Well, good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Two of mine. Yeah.
That's very nice. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
These are questions that I don't know anything about. So I'm reading these and you get to answer. What skill, habit, or asset helped you rise to the top last year? I think you're at the top most every year.
So the biggest things I've been told in this business over and over, I know I've told you this, is I'm one of the most persistent people that others have met. And so that's found to be a very good and a bad thing all in the same. And so the persistence along with, I believe persistence and perseverance are the two biggest factors of our business in general. And I actually have cards that are made up because I've been told so many times that you're the most persistent that I made separate business cards that I'll hand out on occasion just because they're unique and different. And
so one's persistent card and one's
well, I just have the one that says winning by persistence on the back. And it's a square card, unlike the rectangular cards most people have. So it's something different that catches people off. But to answer your question, I think persistency is probably my biggest factor to success, period, over and over.
You know, one of the things I forgot to do is talk about where you're from. Where'd you go to school? Do you have a family? Are you from Atlanta?
No.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about you on a personal level?
Yeah, I would consider myself pretty much from Atlanta at this point.
I'm going to look at the camera.
This one or that one?
That one.
I thought I was supposed to be looking at you.
No, that one. Oh. That's our viewers out there.
Sorry. Hey, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize. So I'm from Chattanooga originally, and I moved to Atlanta in 2000 to work with a technology firm up in Alpharetta, and pretty soon thereafter I lost my job, and not to get into all the details of it, but that was around the dot-com explosion. From there, it took me a couple of years to get into commercial real estate, and so that actually stuck for me and where I've landed ever since. But it was a few years, 3 or 4 years, a little challenging once I first got to Atlanta in general, from working, Starbucks to bartending to selling phones at AT&T. I was trying to figure out where I could fit in and land eventually. And so,
did you want to be in sales?
Probably to some capacity. My background is I have a triple major, accounting, finance, and economics, with accounting being the number one, like the first major. But I thought I wanted to do public accounting and tried that for a while and found that I liked the tax work, but it didn't really fit my personality being behind a desk all the time, even though I'm behind a desk more than I
Yeah.
am probably when I was doing accounting, which is very odd to me. But I've grown to enjoy that just from a different aspect of it. But I'm married, I have a daughter. She'll be 15 this year, so that's exciting.
And your wife's name is?
Allison, we've been married for what, 7 years now. So
Yeah, is she from Atlanta?
she's not. She's from born in Connecticut, but pretty much lived in Manhattan up until she moved here. I think in 2016 maybe
Mm-hmm.
when she moved here. So
And where do you live in Atlanta?
Garden Hills, just down the street, actually within walking distance if I have to. And I've done it before for a couple of different reasons.
Now, is it true you ride a bike to work?
I have ridden a bike to work. I used to race bikes when I first got in the business. I was racing bikes a lot.
Like street bikes?
Street bikes, like road bikes, not motorcycles, but like, bicycles. And I did find that once I quit, because it takes so much time, that I was actually more successful at my job because of the time suck that it actually took from me
Mm.
and the focus. But one key thing I did find when doing that, and I do believe in this, is that sometimes when you're not looking for something or you're not thinking about doing something, that something that you were trying to chase previously surfaces. And I'd be out riding my bike, and 9 out of 10 times I'd reach in my jersey because my phone's ringing. And somebody had been trying to get on the phone for the past 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden they call me back at the most inopportune time.
And you think
probably.
that's from riding your bike?
Sometimes patience
Ah,
has to settle in
patience.
for something to evolve.
That's very hard for us as brokers to have.
It's hard for many people, which is
Are you
actually,
patient?
I try to be. I can somehow muster through 1,000-piece puzzles and multi-1,000-piece Lego sets. And
Yeah, you can.
so I guess I kind of force myself to be more patient. I actually have a tattoo of represents patience because that's something I felt like I needed. And so I felt like, okay, if I'm going to scar my
Well,
body,
that's one of the questions. How
What,
many
tattoo?
tattoos do you have?
I don't know. I've never counted.
20? 50?
It's like a
100?
no, it's like a quarter sleeve here, and it's down to here over here. So I don't know, 25.
And they all represent something?
Mm, Yes and no. I mean, I think I don't think a tattoo has to represent something
Do you have a
every
Lee
time.
tattoo?
I do not.
When are
I
you
could
getting
get
that
one. I might get one right on my heart though, like this LA.
Ever, like Tombstone?
Yeah, I
You
could
ever
do that.
quit?
I
Come
do
in
that.
and rip the tattoo
I
off?
think it'd be kind of cool if I got one that almost looks like stitches, like not stitches, but like sewing. Like I have the one black vest with the LA that's sewn in. I think that would be kind of cool to have it look sewn on my chest. Could go for that.
So next time we meet, you're show off the new tattoo.
Well, I don't know if the audience would want to see my chest, so probably not.
Well, they just want to see a picture of the tattoo.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to show them your chest.
Okay, then we can zoom in. So yeah, maybe
Oh,
it's possible.
Okay. Here's another one. Are there any habits or skills you had to unlearn or replace to improve?
Oh yeah,
Such
multiple.
as.
I was already good dialing the phone, not very good at speaking in front of people.
What do you mean by dialing the phone? To our
making
audience.
making cold calls. So being able to pick up the phone, that's 90% of our business. It's not 99%.
How many calls do you think the average broker should make every day?
When I first started out, I was trying to hit at least 100 calls every day. And that could be anything.
Out of that, sorry to interrupt, out of that 100, how many people did you actually talk to?
Very slim. I mean, probably 25% at most.
And
that
out
would
of that
include-
25%, how many meetings did you get?
That's even smaller. That's probably down to 15% to 10 to 15%.
Out of that 10 or 15%, how many deals did you
Majority
close?
of the meetings we had, we would get deals. I would get deals.
Oh, that's pretty good.
If I could get a meeting, we would typically get the business. But yeah, the 100 calls could be anything from, I'd call them touches. So anything from just a voicemail, then it turns into an email or whatever. But I think as a broker starting out, you probably need to do at least 50 calls a day. I think it depends on your discipline too.
Well, that's one
What
of the things.
area of business you're
What
working.
do you do? We didn't even tell the audience. What is your discipline?
Industrial real estate focused more heavily on investment sales in the South, and a lot of times they're off market.
So not just Atlanta.
Not just Atlanta. No, I've done some business in Greenville, Charlotte. I've had different groups ask me to help them scout out properties in, Raleigh or Greenville or different markets as well. And so when I can, I'll team up with somebody in that market if it's needed. I'm not tied solely to Atlanta. I look for opportunities that, where they may not traditionally exist a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Which
So
is thinking outside of the box.
correct,
Right?
correct,
Being creative.
correct.
That's an important component in our business, right?
It's a very big component. I think sometimes people get skewed too by being local. I had this conversation with the guys at Seafree because we're looking for some land in Charlotte again. And they were asking me like how I came up with this piece of dirt that I sit on. I said, well, I think it has to do with I'm not from this market. I don't see it every day in, day out. So it's not skewed to me where I'm not looking at Atlanta and just pass over a property because I think I know the answer to it or I know the history of it or something. And so sometimes I think having a different perspective in a different marketplace gives you an advantage because call it naiveness, if you will. But sometimes a lack of knowing can work in your favor.
Most people would say, local market knowledge is key.
Correct.
So if you're just flying in and kind of looking at it from a 50,000 foot or even a 10,000 foot view, it's not going to be as detailed or as informative as,
Correct.
boots on the ground sort of thing.
I think that's a totally different strategy. I think it's very essential for success to, if working your local marketplace as a tenant rep broker or a landlord broker, to know your market in and out. If that's Atlanta, if that's Northeast Atlanta, South Atlanta, whatever pocket. For what I was particularly doing on this case, I didn't need that overall knowledge of.
They just need some insights.
I needed to figure out what's actually viable land, and
got it.
Will it work?
All right, ready?
Ready.
Looking ahead 1 to 3 years, where do you see yourself, and what skills do you think you need to develop to get there?
I see myself continuing to be in the top producers each year, and hopefully continue beyond that. And skills, I probably need to get a little bit better organized, and maybe have a couple of juniors working under me to some capacity that can grow and develop more skills, just to take.
I would agree.
Take some of that burden off of me, because I find I can find certain things, but I can't successfully work through all of them just because I don't have enough time. Got it.
And last question. Why'd you pick Lee and Associates to come work for or with?
So I've known a few of the partners for a very long, well, basically since I got in the business. Very helpful, very considerate to me. Always took time to talk with me. And then you were also a component of that once I got to know you, partly of why I came to Lee. But I liked the culture. I liked the environment. I liked the ability for all of us to communicate openly. And, sit around and do things like this and share input and help with the other younger guys and even the other partners where I can. So I think it's one of the more, it's very entrepreneurial, but it's also, we collaborate a lot and a lot more than I've seen at other places.
I would agree.
And so I like that idea. Plus we have a hell of a lot of resources here that we probably don't even use to the full max.
I would agree with that too.
And
more of our brokers should be utilizing the
I'm probably
resources that we have.
one of them in that case, because we do have a lot of capabilities and compete with any bigger shop there is.
Yeah,
probably on a better level because we run so much leaner.
Well, this is the end of our 15 minutes. Went by really fast.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being a partner here and being a mentor to our younger agents and course, being a friend. So thank you, and
Always.
all good things to come.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed it.